Hello and welcome to my Binda TV. So now I'm looking at Alan Sademba. So Alan Sademba has coined the phrase Tuko Kadi. So basically Tuko Kadi is about young Kenyans that are going to is about young Kenyans that are going to elect their next set of leaders. So basically, Alan Sademba has started the Tuko Kadi movement. That means the youth register in large numbers and post them on TikTok, their voters cards. This is manifest that the youth, while being vocal on social media, have not translated their large numbers to changes in the ballot. For instance, in the by-elections held so far, the parliamentary by-elections were won either by UDA or ODM, leading Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga to say that social media is just that noise. The youth are the largest voting segment in the country, and yet they don't make their choices heard during elections. One thing that made the stars not align for a Raila Odinga presidency was that his supporters, largely the youth, did not always come out in large numbers to the polling booth. The question that is being asked now by the powers that be and the subject of a lot of intelligence reports to the president is yes, the youth want change, but they have no clear leader. That then means that they all got with their old party affiliations win. It will be a sad day for democracy in Kenya if the youth don't make their choices heard in the 2027 polls. Young people are tribeless, and that could be their greatest asset. Tribalism has heavily driven this country towards a ditch as a voter and need only look at which surname resembles mine and they tick against that name in the ballot. And I will add regarding Gachagua that he needs to go slow in Kikuyu nationalism if he hopes to win and non-Kikuyu votes. The only president in Kenya who came out for his tribe was Uhuru Kenyatta, and you can see how that presidency plunged Kenya into deep abyss. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was a Kikuyu, yes, but he was an avowed nationalist, if not Pan-Africanist. He resorted to Kikuyu nationalism as an act of self-preservation. It is the clique around Jomo Kenyatta, such as Mbiu Koinange, that benefited from this fallback to hold on to power. The country desperately needs a nationalist to drive its agenda forward. The youth right now have no candidate, and that should be something of concern. Being leaderless is both good and bad. Good because the powers that be don't know whom to approach to scatter the country's transformation agenda. Bad because the youth have no voice in the negotiating table. The question is whether the youth will find a leader before 2027 or as the host of Econini podcast, Mofrika says, perhaps the youth don't need to import an angel to be their presidential candidate. They can work with the present leaders and hope that the power of institutions will act as a restraint. So it's great that what the youth have is a movement and not a revolution. One of the things that made Raila Odinga president not feasible is the power that be always cut off his plans by compromising the people close to him. Wasn't Kalonzo Musyoka Kibaki's vice president, even when it was clear Kibaki had stolen the 2007 election? Wasn't Saddam Davadi running in 2013, even when it was clear that his running was going to split Raila's votes? A movement is different from a revolution. It can mutate, it can adapt. Even when the leader of the movement is killed or compromised, the movement goes on because it's been fed from the ground up by a million inflection points. Meanwhile, to scatter a revolution, all you need to do is to kill or compromise the leader of the revolution or the top leadership brass. What Tuko Kadi must now do after successful voter registration drive is to have as many youths as possible stand up for elections. The youth must not feel they don't have enough money to stand for elective seats, nor must they think power will be given to them. Power is taken, not given. The presidency is the most challenging seat for the youth to support one of their own. It's only 17 months before the next election, and right now that youth leader has not been found. However, we must remember that even in 2002, the opposition looked in disarray until Raila said Kibaki torture in September of 2002, 3 months to the elections, with an effective presidential candidate, the youth must then now embrace what's truly sacred for the country along with the other age groups. So that's it for now. And that's it for now. Welcome. That's been my podcast, and that is Mobila TV. So bye for now. So bye for now. That has been my podcast, and that has been my podcast. So bye for now. So what do you think the youth need to do? What do you think the youth need to do in order to take back power? So bye for now. Till the next episode. Bye.